Good morning, people. Today's subject is about, I'll just say ownership. I keep running into this subject, and quite often, in fact, here we'll put a little background music on here. Oh, see, there we are again. Okay, I gotta turn this down. Pardon my unprofessionalism. But then again, I never claimed to be a professional, did I? Yeah, there it is right in the song, eh? You know, everywhere I turn, it's always in my face. It was in my face on Facebook tonight, too. It's always in my face, this ownership thing. And for what it's worth, I'd like to address the subject. In the song here, he says, "What are riches untold? What are riches untold in a life without compassion? For there is no winter as cold as a life without compassion." Okay, there's no prescription. That's all that will heal you like compassion. And, I'm not really going to be thumping on my Bible a whole lot here tonight, or today, or whatever it is right now for you where you're sitting. But it really is. I mean, all the answers are right there in the Bible. All we have to do is look for them. They're there. Concerning this subject, ownership. And yeah. Well, I ran into it today, with respect to people and stuff, and I suppose I don't really give a very fair image of myself on the internet sometimes, at least to some people, and they think, they've got me pegged. I'm that ignoreligious, Bible-thumping bigot, male, chauvinist, misogynist, whatever label they want to stick on me, whatever name they want to call me, whatever, sort of bullying they want to resort to. It's so funny. I mean, it's such an old game, A woman can run into a room with a man in it and throw a teapot at him or beat on him or whatever, right? And then run back out of that room, and if he's an idiot, he'll chase after her. And then she'll charge him with bullying. Do you see what I mean? This is such an old game, people. This is such an old game. I'm the innocent little Red Riding Hood, and you're the big bad wolf. This is such a game. I don't like this game. I'm past this. I am past this game. But I look around, I see these young men behaving like, dogs. No wonder they call them pups, because they don't even see it. They don't even see it coming. Set up, people. Set up. In the name game of ownership. Well, anyway, I owned somebody's thread tonight. They didn't really like that. But I kind of made certain people consider their own words and perhaps even consider taking responsibility for their own words and their own thoughts and their own emotions and maybe even perhaps their own actions. I don't know, because I find that neo-feminist misandrists are not very honest people. They're really not very honest people. Misogynists aren't honest people either. But I'd like to get back on subject here with respect to ownership. Where do I begin? Some really wild things have been happening over this Thanksgiving weekend, and I haven't had a whole lot of time for internet to keep you guys all updated as to the events that have been occurring in my life. But there's been some very troubling and very challenging and very stressful events in the lives of some loved ones and close friends of our family And I'm not naming any names, of course, but something stuck out in my mind with respect to ownership. This man did some very, very compromising things, but it was his, damaging things. Well, I was going to say, but it was his own stuff, but no, it actually progressed beyond his own stuff. I mean, look, if you want to damage your own stuff, okay, that's your business. But if you're going to go, to someone else's place and start damaging their stuff, now I know there are mitigating circumstances involved in all that, but for the most part, I found violence is never the answer. Violence is never the answer. But I know what this fellow is going through. I know exactly what he's struggling with. I know exactly what it means to knock yourself out for maybe 2 decades trying to amount to something, and to please your wife and to please your loved ones, and to maybe be even a good husband or a good provider or a good something, and for all of it just to come to no good, just to unravel. It's crushing. And I think a lot of men go through this. I think a lot of men struggle with this. I think a lot of men, I'm not saying women don't either, okay? There's the empty nest syndrome, and all these things put together, and falling under the category of middle-aged craziness, suicidal depression. I think some of you understand where I'm coming from on this subject. I know what it's like. I guess I just want to qualify that. I've been there. And one of the things that stand out first and foremost in my mind concerning this whole syndrome, where someone I really, really love and care about completely lost it. I mean, completely lost it, okay? And I'm telling you that this man was a very dear friend to me, and well, for that matter, still is, because he was there for me in my hour of need, and when no one else was, okay, no one else was, and helped me immensely where no one else ever did. No one else ever did. Never made the sorts of sacrifices for me that he did. And I'm not going to belabor that, but I like to think that I actually have a real friend. And I tried to stick my neck out for him here recently, and with less than positive results. Maybe I think part of it might be pride. It's okay for him to be there for me as a friend, but not so good for me to be there for him. I don't know. I don't really want to surmise. I just wish I could be there for him somehow, where I could really affect him in some positive way, because I know what he's going through, and I warned him about this time. But the thing that stands out in my mind, this is what I'm getting to, is he made some statement, and I probably won't quote him perfectly because I was not there, but I heard it validated by 2 other people, heard him say it when he was completely going destructive. He stated about his things, it's all junk. It's all junk. It's worthless. I'm worthless. I'm nothing. He made a mistake there. You see, he identified with all his material wealth and all his material gain. And, he totally flipped out and went on a destructive rampage, I guess, for lack of a better term. I really hope that that did sink in. Like, I really hope that that sunk right into the very core of his being. Because you see, people really make a mistake about this. And that's why I'm not going to, I stated, I'm not going to do much Bible thumping here, because the answers are found there in the Bible concerning this. But we are not our stuff. And our stuff is not more valuable than we are. I mean, we won't be able to enjoy it, if we're not around. Our stuff is secondary. And here's the thing about stuff. Like, I've got the camera here pointed at a PC. This PC is worth, allegedly, worth over $12,000. It's a PC. This PC, the price on this, the retail price on this PC is over $14,000. Okay, it's a liquid-cooled PC. You know what? In 1 year, this PC probably won't even be worth $8,000. In another year, that this PC here that I've got the camera pointed at won't even probably be worth $7,000. Let's say, to be fair, because the attrition kind of slows down a little. In 3 years' time, this PC will not even be worth half what somebody paid for it. In 3 years' time. I mean, if you got money to burn, hey, $14,000 is nothing. Drop in the bucket. 2 hours of work, right? 2 hours at the stock market, whatever, right? Not even for some people, Not even 5 minutes for some people. Not even a minute for the elite. Okay, 14,000, come on. Peanuts, change, paltry. Okay, but this is what I'm getting at. All right, what I'm getting at is things rot, people. Things rust. Things oxidize and their value diminishes, and over time, nothing we have is worth that much. Okay, this is the people really need to get this. And they need to stop identifying themselves with material things, objects. Case in point, when I was a young man, there was a cassette recorder, player, stereo component that I really wanted to own. I mean, so bad. I always dreamed about owning one of these, and because, I mean, it was state-of-the-art, high technology, the very best. This was, audiophile material. This was not, your mainstream headbanger type of equipment. This was, studio production musician material. It was a Nakamichi Dragon. I didn't think that I would ever own one, but as time progressed, as time went on, and CD players came into the picture, the value of cassette tapes began to diminish, and they were basically phasing them out. You might be surprised to learn that I still use cassette tapes, and I own a Nakamichi Dragon. To give you an idea about what a Nakamichi Dragon is, it was voted, I guess. It basically, all the critics agreed that the Nakamichi Dragon was the best cassette recorder player ever built. Ever. The world's best. The world's very best. Nakamichi Dragon. Okay? Yeah, I own one. How about that? Because it's not the world's best anymore, folks. It's not the world's best. It was a legend in its own time, but are you kidding? Cassette deck? A cassette player? Passé, people. Passé. You see, this is this is what has come of the Nakamichi Dragon. Okay? Well, it's the same with everything, people. It is the same with all material things. Over time, they lose their value. They begin to diminish in monetary value or even practical application. The real value is always in our heads for these things, and we have to understand that we cannot identify ourselves with these things in as much as these are the things that give us worth. If our self-worth is contingent upon the toys that we purchase, the things that we own, we're setting ourselves up for a very, very, very big failure. And of course, this is why so many men in their middle ages, drive off in a ditch and pull out a gun and blow their brains out. Okay? Because they have actually come upon that inkling, that realization that their self-value, their self-image, their whole, their value of themselves has diminished. They're not as valuable anymore. They've already had their children, right? They've already done their job. They're facing the empty nest syndrome. They know they cannot perform as well as the young bucks. They know that. Okay? Maybe there's indications of a slipping memory. Maybe, sometimes they can't handle stress so well anymore. They start shaking. They're just not as clean and straight performers as they once were. Men, young men and men out there, I sure hope you understand. You've got maybe about 20 good years of your life, and after that, it's you start to lose it. Okay? I don't care how healthy you are. I don't care how much you work out in your gym. I don't care what kind of exercises you do. I don't care how you exercise your brain, your mind. I don't care how much transcendental meditation you do. Okay? Come on. There are limits. There are limits. And you've got maybe about 2 decades where you're running your prime. And then after that, Jack, it's all downhill. So just accept it and realize this is the deal. This is, what it's all about. Okay? Because I don't care if you live to be 100. All right? And how many of us live to be 100? Okay? Not even 10% of our population live to get to see 100. Okay? But let's just say you do. How functional are you going to be at 100 years of age? Okay? There are some real minor exceptions to the rule. There are no doubt, there is somebody in this world who is 100 years old and he can actually walk. I'm talking about a man now because I'm talking to men. And he can actually walk unassisted without a cane. I'm sure there is. Okay? He's like what? 0.00001% of the population? What is he? Okay? All right? And even then, he's certainly not the performer he used to be, is he now? Is he? There's your Nakamichi Dragon. It can still work unassisted. That's hilarious. Anyway, inside joke. But, come on. So if you place your value, your self-worth, if you are basing that on what you own, you are a sorry case. You are a sorry case. What's valuable is the good times that we share together. What is valuable is the memories that we can give one another in this very short time that we share on this planet. Okay? Family, compassion, loving one another. I'm telling you, these are the things that have real good and lasting value. And they do. So, I know this is a little long, but I really want people to get this, okay? I would love if somebody would just come along and buy me this beautiful dream machine. That's what it's called, by the way. It's called the Dream Machine. $14,000 I would love to have a disc like, I mean, a PC like this. But it's not the end all and be all of all things. It's going to lose value. Now, I'm looking at right now building a PC, and I'll probably take about 2 years. Just looking at things, comparing things, getting things ready, try to get the best bang for the buck and the longest lasting value. That's what I did with the PC that I own. The PC that I own is, still today, I could probably still sell it for $1,000. Because I very carefully selected the components and the lasting value of the components and things like that. I could probably still get about $1,000 for it. Okay, and I've owned it for almost 3 years. All right, now admittedly it was worth over that when I bought it, but and I've done a lot to it. I've upgraded it with current age components, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I could probably get, about $1,000 from it that way. It's worth a whole lot more to me than that. Money wise, the data and everything is precious to me. I can't even put a price on it. That's why I had to get another hard drive and make sure that, what I had here was backed up. But this is so important because someone I really care about finally woke up and realized it's all junk, and maybe about 20% of everything he owned had any really significant value, and all the other technology, I mean, we're talking, this guy is a techie, okay, is, obsolete. Yet this is stuff that he worked all his life to collect and to acquire, and then he looks back and he sees what it's become. So of course this middle-aged man is going to ask himself, well, what have I been working for all my life? What have I been doing all my life? And of course, he's going to experience some anger. I went through some of that, but I also knew that relationships by far were more valuable than anything. I just, had different lessons. I can't reach him. I know he's not going to even bother listening to any of my presentations. I could ask you prayers for my friend. I can't say his name. Okay, just pray for my techie friend. Okay, because it's really sad to see someone that gifted, and he really is a gifted man. I mean, he's brilliant. He's definitely genius material, and it's really sad to see someone so gifted and so capable, completely lose it. He's probably, I don't know where he is right now. Maybe they've got him in an institution now. He's in his middle age. I tried to warn him about middle age craziness. I tried to warn him that one day it's going to come upon you and you're going to realize, you are not as virile as you were. You're going to realize you're not the young pup you used to be anymore. You're going to realize, a lot of things about your life. And it can lead to suicidal depression. He didn't want to hear it. But he saw it happen to me. He saw me go through the throes of middle-age craziness, or whatever you want to call it. And because nobody's exempt. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how intelligent you are. Your flesh is going to go through this process, and how you deal with it will determine what your outcome will be. I'll give you one clue. It helps to know Jesus. It helps to know the Lord. But you got to stay focused. You gotta keep putting your case before him every day, every day, every day, and hang on. And hang on. Hold fast to what you have. Okay? If what you have is just a bunch of junk, okay, or the latest state of the art technical equipment, okay, you're in trouble. You need something more real than that. That's right. Like I mentioned in one video or presentation that I made, the realest thing that you could ever hope to experience is God. And I'll tell you, I know this isn't good usage of the English language, but God is the realest thing you could ever hope to experience, friend. There's nothing more real than God. And so, when your world starts to fall apart and fragment on you, you need something real to hang on to. Okay? Hold fast to God. Hold fast to God, because God is the realest thing going. Anyway, please don't worship materialism. Okay? These things are here for our use. They're here for, we can use them for our enjoyment. But understand that these things will never be a reflection of your worth as a human being. Never. Never. They do not reflect your worth as a human being. I don't care how fancy a car you drive. I don't care what you are. They say you can tell the men from the boy by the price of their toys. I don't buy that. I don't buy that, because I've seen some men that live very Spartan lives, and I admire them. I admire them because the wisdom that they have, and the compassion that they have, and the way they love their life, and the way they live so cleanly, okay, as far as I'm concerned, those people are real men by far. Okay, and no, they don't. They're not driving the latest sports car, and no, they don't have the latest state-of-the-art technology. But I'll tell you something they do have. They have the respect of their community. They have the love and admiration of their wives. Yeah, some of them are polygamists. They have their memories with their loved ones and their children, and they can hold their heads high. Okay, because they're men. They're real men. And I'm kind of taking leadership and example from some of these people, because I think I understand what really matters. I believe I know what really counts. And I still like my toys, but I think I know where to keep it in perspective. I will probably never own one of these quote-unquote dream machines, but maybe if I do, it'll be like, maybe only like $2,000 by the time I can afford to buy one, because $2,000 isn't a lot of money, and probably 10 years from now, $2,000 won't be very much either. Even money is going obsolete. So look to the lasting things. Look to the lasting things. Your relationship with your spouses, your relationships with your children, the things that matter, your marriages. Okay, if you can just get outside and, I don't know, take a walk together, be a family together, cherish these things. Cherish them while you still have them. Because things break down, they fall apart, okay, and they don't say anything about you. I know others will judge you by what you own and what you have and stuff like that, but you know what? Those others are just as deluded as the person who thinks that what he owns actually reveals who he is. Doesn't. Come on, people. We're a whole lot more than that. We're a whole lot more than what we own. Right? So there it is for ownership, property. God bless you. Thank you for putting up with my rants and my views here. you're welcome to reply. God bless you.